right, and welcome to Psalmic Saturday here at Ariel's Corner. This is Ariel Gatoga, and we are streaming live on YouTube. Moderating today are the lovely Honeypaw, the lovely Deline, and the lovely Dre. Thank you so much, moderators, and thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. We've got a long-ish psalm, and we've got a premiere at 11, so we've got to get going, just in case I don't want to, run over. But just as a side note, we are going to be. Oh, never mind. I don't know what I was talking about. We are good. So I'm going to get going on this psalm right away, and I hope that everybody can join us over on the premiere at 11 a.m. Pacific time in just about 40 minutes from now. And you can find that by going to our main YouTube channel, or if you just hang out to the end of the exit music on this live stream, it should send you to a link where you can go to for that premiere. If you don't receive our emails, you might want to jump on our website, arielscorner.com, and at the footer of every page you can sign up for emails, and there's also all of our social media links there, including our private Facebook group and our Discord server where you can be part of our community. And if you get our emails, then you also will get little emails with links to the premieres as well, so you don't have to go hunt for them. All right, let's get going. Here we go. Today we are working Psalm 104. Psalm 104 has magical uses that include overcoming feelings of guilt and inadequacy, dispelling evil influences, and overcoming boredom. But today I would like to use Psalm 104 as a prosperity psalm to receive all the prosperous blessings that the universe has for us. The way we work psalm magic is very simple and effective. We take the psalm in question, we recite it out loud all the way through once without stopping. This is called an incantation. Then we go back through that same psalm and we consider each verse in turn, one at a time. And we dig for hidden or occult meanings that lie behind those verses. And by digging and searching for those things and applying them to whatever we've brought to the psalm, we, in effect, are taking those magic seeds we find and planting them in the fertile grounds of our deep mind, where they take root, they grow, they blossom forth, and they bear fruit after their kind. And that is exactly what you and I are going to do together right now with Psalm 104. Oops, let's move this a little bit. Let's just make a whole little moment there since we're here. Bless the Lord, O my soul. O Lord my God, thou art very great. Thou art clothed with honor and majesty, who coverest thyself with light as with a garment, who stretchest out the heavens like a curtain, who layeth the beams of chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind, who maketh his angels spirits, his ministers a flaming fire, who laid the foundations of the earth that it should not be removed forever. Thou coveredst it with the deep as with a garment. The waters stood before the mountains. The waters stood above the mountains. At thy rebuke they fled. At the voice of thy thunder they haste away. At the voice of thy thunder they hasted away. They go up by the mountains, they go down by the valleys unto the place which thou hast founded for them. Thou hast set a bound that they may not pass over, that they turn not again to cover the earth. He sendeth the springs into the valleys, which run among the hills. They give drink to every beast of the field, the wild asses quench their thirst. By them shall the fowls of the heaven have their habitation, which sing among the branches. He watereth the hills from his chambers, the earth The earth is satisfied with the fruits of thy works. He causeth the grass to grow for the cattle, and herb for the service of man, that he may bring forth food out of the earth, and wine that maketh glad the heart of man, and oil to make his face shine, and bread which strengtheneth man's heart. The trees of the Lord are full of sap, the cedars of Lebanon, which he hath planted. Where the birds make their nests, as for the stork, the fir trees are her house. The high hills are the high hills are a refuge for the wild goats, and the rocks for the The high hills are a refuge for the wild goats, and the rocks for the conies. He appointed the moon for seasons, the sun knoweth his going down. Thou makest darkness, and it is night, wherein all the beasts of the forest do creep forth. The young lions roar after their prey, and seek their meat from God. The sun ariseth, they gather themselves together, and lay them down for their dens. Man goeth forth unto his work, and to his laboring until evening. O Lord, how manifold are thy O Lord, how manifold are thy works! In wisdom hast thou made them all. The earth is full of thy riches. So is this great and wide sea, wherein all things creeping innumerable, both small and great beasts. There go the ships. There is that Leviathan, whom thou hast made to There go the ships. There is that Leviathan, whom thou hast made to play therein. These wait all upon thee, that thou mayest give them their meat in due season. That thou givest them, they gather. That thou givest them, they gather. Thou openest thine hand, they are filled with good. Thou hidest thy face, they are troubled. Thou takest away their breath, they die, they return to their dust. Thou sendest forth thy spirit, they are created. Thou renewest their face of the earth. The glory of the Lord shall endure forever. The Lord shall rejoice in his works. He hath looked upon the earth and trembleth. He has touched the hills, and they smoke. I will sing unto the Lord as long as I live. I will sing praise to my God while I have my being. My meditation of him shall be sweet. I will be glad in the Lord. Let the sinners be consumed out of the earth, and let the wicked be no more. Bless thou the Lord, O my soul. Praise ye the Lord. Oh, I didn't need that. Okay. Ooh, that's a long psalm. So starting out with bless the Lord, O my soul. When we bless the Lord, we are connecting with the Lord. We are blessing that which blesses us. And we bless that which blesses us, and that creates a circuit. We don't need this here. And that creates a circuit of never-ending blessings for us. O Lord my God, thou art very great. So when we're talking about the greatness of the Lord, we're talking about the fact that there is nothing but the Lord. The Lord is the tetragrammaton, and the tetragrammaton is a symbol for the one power, the one source, and the one substance of all the universe. It's omnipresent, and it's up to us to be aware of this force at all times. And when we have that awareness within our minds, then we have the blessings of that. If we don't have the awareness of that force within our minds, then we don't have the blessings, not because they're being withheld, but because we are withholding them from ourselves. Because everything must flow through us and from us. I should say flow through us. Everything must flow through us. Everything happens through us. So the infinite only does for us what it does through us. So it neither comes from us. We are neither the source, nor are we the recipient of anything that doesn't come through us. So you can't ask for blessings and then not be involved. You have to be involved. And you always have to take the first step. And that's why it always starts out with something like this. Bless the Lord, O my soul. O Lord, my God, thou art very great. We're just putting ourselves in alignment with this. You are my source, and I am your effect. And I'm very grateful. Thou art clothed with honor and majesty. So those are the honor and majesty are the two garments that we are acknowledging here. And if you think about majesty, back in the ancient times, this particular psalm, even the scholars will agree, is older than Israel, is older than the Hebrew religion. They got this very obviously from an Egyptian source. And so they, obviously stepped on it and changed it around and made it very Yahwistic. But it's an ancient psalm. Most of them are, if not all of them are. But this one they can't really deny that. There's just too much evidence to support that. So anyway, when we say thou art covered with honor and majesty meaning kingly, because it, not only from the ancient Hebrew faith, but also earlier in Egyptian faith, everything came from the king. Everything was all about Pharaoh and king and Pharaoh and king. And those kings were always representative of the one source. So even in British monarchy, they are representing supposedly the presence of God on earth. And so now we are not having any intermediaries here. We are just claiming that the clothing that the infinite wears are honor and majesty. Who covers thyself with a light as with a garment, who stretches out the heavens like a curtain. So the closest thing that we can understand what God might look like is pure light. Pure light. And the heavens are like a curtain. See, the whole idea of this psalm is not only are we receiving blessings from this source, but anything that we consider to be a big deal in three-dimensional reality is as nothing to this source. And so the heavens are just a curtain. It's not a big deal to the infinite. Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind. Those are wonderful poetic images of the majesty and honor of the infinite, that not only is the source of all that is, but anything that we consider to be very exalted is nothing by comparison to this source. Who maketh his angels spirits, his ministers a flaming fire. So the angels of the Lord are spirits for us to receive our good. The idea being in this ancient theology, the idea being that these ancient angels were there to sort of step down the power of the infinite, because it would be too much for us to handle all by ourselves. So the power has to be stepped down so that we could handle it. And that's why we have angels. Even though they are flaming fire, even though they are quite powerful and intense, they are at least something that we could handle, according to this ancient belief. Who laid the foundations of the earth, that it should not be removed forever. So the foundation of the earth that can never be moved is talking about the permanence of our security. So if you've come to this psalm because you want prosperity, you want that which is lasting. You want your blessings to last, and you don't want to worry that the earth is going to open up and swallow you. And usually when you come to a psalm, it's not because you're feeling good already. Usually when you come to a psalm, it's because you've got a problem that needs to be taken care of. And so if you've come to this psalm for something like prosperity or any reason whatsoever, you want your life to have a sense of lasting security where you don't have to worry about things, where you don't have to worry about the comings and goings of things. And it's reassuring us that through this infinite source, that is truth. Thou coverest it with the deep as with a garment. The waters stood above the mountains. So all creation that seems so big to the infinite, it was as nothing. It was as nothing. They rebuke at thy rebuke, they fled. At the voice of thy thunder, they hastened away. So there's, we're talking about the earth, the mountains, and then before that, just the earth, the waters, and the mountains. So if you're looking back, this is pre-Genesis, because this is hearkening back to Egyptian creation myths. The idea that out of nowhere comes the water, comes the earth, comes the mountains, and they are separated. They are separated and they have their place. And we're starting to realize that out of chaos comes order with the infinite. And the infinite will order the chaos in order to create our world here, but also will have order out of chaos in your situation. Because from the infinite's point of view, one thing is not more important than the other. Your circumstance is no less important than the creation of the world. You don't have to take a number. And when God has a minute, then we'll take care of this for you. You're just as important, and whatever you've brought to this psalm has just as much importance as the creation of the earth. They go up by the mountains, they go down by the valleys unto the place which thou hast founded for them. Thou hast set a bound that they may not pass over, that they turn not again to cover the earth. So all of these waters, when we're starting to get the idea of how the waters are formed, and then the waters are turning into streams, not just the big oceans, because I think we talk about the oceans in a minute. But the oceans back in these ancient people, because they came from a desert dwelling community, the big oceans were scary, but the streams and the rivers were very important because they needed water sources. So the scary waters and the good waters are all under the control of the infinite, and we don't have to worry about it. We don't have to worry about getting our nourishment, and we don't have to worry about being swallowed by the deep, because the infinite has everything in its place. Thou hast set a bound that they may not. Oh, I already did that. He sendeth the springs into the valleys which run among the hills. So think about the hills and the valleys, the ups and the downs of your life. So when you're in a valley, and sometimes we think the valley is the low part of your life, but there's a spring there. There's a life-giving spring there. The spring wouldn't be up on the top, it would be down on the bottom. So if you've got problems in your life, that means there's a spring there for you to drink from, and that healing is available to you. You don't always have to be up on the mountain. You don't always have to be having peak experiences in order to get whatever it is that you're looking for in this psalm. So if you've come to this psalm for prosperity, the prosperity exists right in the midst of your valley. They give drink to every beast of the field. The wild asses quench their thirst. And this is the way of nature. The infinite created it so that everybody is taken care of. Now, if you think about the wild animals as different parts of your life, every part of your life, when you leave it alone and you just let it be the way that it was created, has its place. Every aspect of your life has its place and has its needs met at all moments of time and points of space. By them shall the fowls of the heaven have their habitation, which sing among the branches. So you've got the fowls, you've got the birds, and you also have the wild asses. All of those things are parts of your life. You think about those birds as being either high thoughts or even fleeting thoughts. The wild asses that are down in the valley as being something that's a little bit more substantial in your thinking. He watereth the hill. Oh, so they're all taken care of from this water. Now here we have, he watereth the hills from his chambers. The earth is satisfied with the fruit of thy works. He causeth the grass to grow for the cattle, and herb for the service of man. He may bring forth food out of the earth. You are going to be fed because that's the universe's will for you. Now, when we say fed, we're not only talking about being fed, having dinner, which is very important, but all your needs are met. So whatever you're looking for, it's already been taken care of. It's already dialed in. You are coded for it because every part of your life has its place. And all aspects of what your needs are have already been met. And wine that maketh glad the heart of man, and oil to make his face shine, and bread which strengtheneth man's hearts. So you've got the herbs for your medicine, you've got the oil to make things pretty and glistening, you've got bread which is going to feed you, and you've got wine that's going to make you happy. You've got everything that you need. There's nothing that you need that hasn't already been thought of, and it's already made. It's already been given to you. The trees of the Lord are full of sap, the cedars of Lebanon, which he hath planted. This is number 16 here. Verse number 16. So many, if you look at a lot of theological interpretations of this psalm, they say, well, the Lord is, Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh is only mentioned at the beginning and the end, and then it's just a bunch of talk. And for whatever reason, and they say it's not important, for whatever reason, they decided to put the name of God in number 16. Well, for us that are psalm magicians, there is a reason, because the trees of the Lord are full of sap. The trees of the Lord are Asherah, who was taken out of the Bible completely. This is the goddess here. So the god and the goddess are working together. The trees of the Lord, that is Asherah, that is the mother, are full of sap. The cedars of Lebanon, which he hath planted, where the birds make their nests, as for the stork, the fir trees are her house. So these groves and these trees are nourishing your life. Nourishing your life. They're full of sap. There is never going to be any want for you. It can't happen. So if you can accept this, if you can put yourself in the receptive end of all of this absolute magic, then your prosperity is assured. The high hills are a refuge for the wild goats, and the rocks for the conies. So the wild goats, Capricorn, are those that later became symbolic of arrogance and stubbornness, and they ended up using the goat as a scapegoat, right? But here we're saying, even though that was their perspective on goats, here the goat is being exalted. The wild goat is being exalted up on the high hill. And so you are being exalted up on that high hill. You, the goat. Think about what the goat represents. You as the most earthy of creatures. The most earthy part of you is high, exalted. Now, what else does the goat represent? It represents industry and stick-to-itiveness and persistence and all of that. And the universe is supporting that, is supporting all of your work, and is exalting you. He appointed the moon for seasons. The sun knoweth his going down. So there's a time for everything in your life. No matter what's going on, it's the perfect season for you. And the one way that you can look at this is to remind yourself that you are always in the right place at the right time. It's always the perfect season for you. You never have to wait for a better time. There was never a better time in the past, and there's never going to be a better time for you in the future. Right now is the perfect time for you. Otherwise, it wouldn't be this time. Thou makest darkness, and it is night, wherein all the beasts of the forest do creep forth. The young lions roar after their prey and seek their meat from God. So when we go to sleep, when human beings go to sleep, that's the right time for the predators to seek their prey. And in this context, the predators are not anything negative. It's just the way of the world. It's just how everything is set up. The idea that human beings don't have to come into contact with the predators too often because their time is at night and our time is during the day, according to this psalm. So it's basically giving you reassurance. You don't have to worry about anything. It's all perfect. It's all perfect. The predators have their reason. They have their function, and they're not going to bother you because it's all been taken care of. Everything's been taken care of. The sun ariseth, they gather themselves together, and they lay down in their dens. So the predators, once the sun comes up, they go to sleep, and they let you have your day. The sun ariseth, they gather themselves. Oh, I already said that. Man goeth forth unto his work, and to his labor until the evening. So it's talking about how our time is daytime, and sleep is and nighttime is when we sleep, according to this psalm. Now, that's not true for everybody, right? Some people are very nocturnal beings, and there's no judgment about that in this psalm. It's just trying to show that everything has its place. Everything's been taken care of. Not just because the infinite is, it's not because the infinite is micromanaging everything. It's because the infinite created everything in such a way so that you can be happy. Because we're here to take this very personally. This is all you that we're talking about. This is not, you can look at it, and it's a wonderful psalm to think about on more of a macrocosmic level, about how, isn't it wonderful how everything is perfect in the universe? But for us, magically, we have to take it personally. Every aspect of your life has been taken care of. And if there's a problem, it's not because the infinite made a mistake. If there's a problem, it's probably because there's somewhere that you're messing with it, that you're futzing with the perfection of it. So just reminding ourselves of how perfect everything is the first step to stop doing that. O Lord, how manifold are thy works. In wisdom hast thou made them all. The earth is full of thy riches. Now, the earth being full of riches means that it's been given to you. So many riches. You're walking on riches. The earth is full of them. And just think about, you could be walking on gold. You could be walking on silver. You could be walking on uranium. You could be walking on diamonds. You could be walking on rubies. Now, yes, you're going to have to sometimes take some effort and dig and mine for those things, but they were given to you. And so those things are there for you now. It's not like you have to go find the prosperity. It's been given to you. You're walking on it. So is this great and wide sea, wherein all things creeping innumerable, both small and great beasts. Everything's possible for you. Everything's possible for you, but you don't have to be afraid of how everything is possible for you, because as long as you're allowing things to unfold the way they're supposed to, only good will come to you, because that's been dialed into it. There go the ships. There is that Leviathan whom thou hast made to play therein. So in they kind of really stepped on this verse. I think it's hearkening back to something even more specific in the Egyptian understanding of things. But Leviathan in the Bible was this scary sea monster that always terrified these people. They were so afraid of the sea, and they were so afraid of the sea monster. And it's saying that, so if you think in terms of what are your greatest fears, what are you so afraid of? Well, those fears are nothing for you to worry about, because those things are the infinite's toys. Plays with Leviathan. It's just something that makes him laugh, that makes the infinite laugh. And so whatever your fears are, the infinite's going to laugh at them, meaning take care of them for you, keep you safe from them. So you don't have to worry about anything, because the infinite's got you. These wait all upon thee, that thou mayest give them their meat in due season. There's always the right time And if you understand that right now is the right time for you, and you don't worry about the future and you don't worry about the past, you don't get impatient, none of that stuff, you just suck the juice out of this moment and receive everything that's been given to you in the moment, you will always be greatly and abundantly provided for. That thou givest them that thou givest them, they gather. Thou openest thine hand, and they are filled with good. All you have to do is pick it up. It's everywhere. And all you have to do is pick it up. You just have to gather it. You don't have to create it. You don't have to beg for it. You don't have to visualize it. You don't have to beseech for it. You don't have to sacrifice for it. You don't have to know the right incantation for it. You don't have to do anything except for gather it up. Thou hidest thy face, they are troubled. Thou takest away their breath, they die. They return to their dust. Now, it's not saying that the infinite's doing these things. It's talking about like how we speak sometimes, that we take the sun for granted. If the sun decided to just go away, we wouldn't be here, right? So if there was no infinite, we wouldn't be here. So the fact that we are looking to the infinite for the source of our good and for our sustenance and for our prosperity is smart. Because if it weren't for the infinite, we wouldn't have any experience. But if we look to the infinite for everything, then not only do we get our needs met, but we get our needs met abundantly and in ways that are so perfect that we could never even conceive of it on our own. Thou sendest forth thy spirit, they are created, and thou renewest the face of the earth. So the spirit and the word spirit and the word breath are the same word in this verse of the psalm. So you can think of the infinite's breath as being one with your breath. The infinite spirit is one with your spirit. You are as a beam of light from a central star, and that's who you are. You're very important to the infinite. You're not down the line on the totem pole, like eventually I'll get to you. I've got many, many more important things to deal with. That's not the infinite. The infinite doesn't have to prioritize anything. The infinite's got it. It's already been handled. So if there's anything you need, the infinite's there for you with it immediately. But you have to learn how to receive it. The glory of the Lord shall endure forever. The Lord shall rejoice in his works. So enduring forever means in the moment. It's right now. There's no waiting. If you're feeling like you have to wait for your prosperity, that means that you're not recognizing what the moment has for you. If you're worried about waiting, until eventually you'll get what you want in due season, that's not the idea here. Due season is now. Whatever's due season, in 3 months, that'll come in 3 months. But right now is right now. And right now there is immense prosperity for you to receive. And it says that the Lord shall rejoice in his works. Well, what are the Lord's works when you take it personally? You. The Lord rejoices in you. Very, very joyful about you. Never sees anything other than fabulosity when the infinite looks at you. And all the gifts that the infinite gives you cause the infinite to rejoice. So you have you are the source of joy for the infinite, not only in who you are, but in everything that is being given to you. Think of how, sometimes at, Christmas or birthdays or something like that, and you find this perfect present for somebody, and you just like, I can't wait for them to open it. It's so much more fun than receiving a gift. When they say it's more blessed to give than receive, that's not moralism. It's just that it's so fun. I can't wait for them to open this. I really can't wait for them to open this and see what I got for them. That's what the infinite feels with you all the time. Can't wait for you to open the presents. And the presents are infinite, and they're there right now in the moment. It's just about you receiving them, opening them, being aware of them, being willing to see them and know them. He looketh on the earth, and it trembleth. He toucheth the hills, and they smoke. No matter what's going on in your life, if there's a problem, it's taken care of. You don't have that kind of power all by yourself, but when you're one with the infinite, you have all power. Because when the infinite touches the problem that it's calling the hill, it smokes. Whenever there's a need for a change in the earth, meaning your circumstances, it trembles. It changes. I will sing unto the earth as long as I live. I will sing praise to my God while I have my being. This is your tool to receive all of this prosperity that's already there. Sometimes people say, you say it's already there, but how do I get it? This is telling you right here how you get it. You sing unto the Lord for as long as you live. You sing praise to God while you have your being. That means when? Right now. Right now. To sing, you can sing, and that's fabulous. If you want to sing, you go ahead and sing. But look at metaphysically, singing is talking about causing disturbance, making change happen through your voice. And the voice from a metaphysical perspective is your decision, is your will. And so when you speak the word, when you sing the word of praise unto the universe then responds by showing you the gifts that are already there for you. It's through your singing praise that the gifts reveal themselves to you. And remember, those gifts are already there. They're not coming to you. They're there. My meditation of him shall be sweet. I shall be glad in the Lord. What a wonderful thing to think of. All I'm going to think about is the sweetness that is the infinite. There's just nothing more than sweetness. There's nothing but sweetness in my meditation. When you think sweet thoughts, what do you get? Sweet results. And that's what the infinite already has for you. Sweet results. Being glad in the Lord means that you are being glad in your life. Let the sinners be consumed out of the earth, and let the wicked be no more. So the sinners being consumed out of the earth and the wicked be no more, that means that anything that you're bringing to the psalm, the reason why you want prosperity is because you're not experiencing prosperity. You're experiencing some kind of problem. And so the problem is the sinner that's being consumed out of the earth. The wicked is no more. So the parts of your mind that created that problem, the parts of your experience that are antithetical to this prosperity that the universe has for you are being removed. And then it says, bless the Lord, O my soul, praise ye the Lord. We end the way we begin by remembering that if our mind is stayed on the infinite, then we receive the prosperity that is our birthright. If we think other thoughts, then we get what we get with those other thoughts. So you just keep coming back to this same psalm every day until you get a sense that it's working. You get a sense of peace and certainty about the whole thing. And then you know that it's done and you can move on to something else. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. Until next time, blessed be. Okay, we need to end. And if there's any questions, I will get them on next week. I will remember to get them next week. We'll see you over at the premiere. Until next time, blessed be.